Munce are proud, strong. They respect only power. Mortessa, Queen of the Munce. Hello, I am Sensei the Dark Master, and in today's installment of the Lore of Ninjago, we shall be covering the subterranean tribe of trolls known as the Munce. We shall cover their history, their culture, notable members, their abilities, and their weaknesses. As always, let us start with their history. The origins of Munce happened very long ago and have sadly been lost to the sands of time. At some point, they colonized the caverns beneath Shintaro Mountain alongside the Geckos. For a time, they presumably lived in peace. However, this period came to an end when a gigantic evil dragon known as Griefbringer arrived and began to attack them. For a time, the Munce suffered grief and sorrow under its wrath, until they were one day saved by Cole's mother and former Master of Earth, Lily, who utilized her skills and the Spinjitzu blast to kill the dragon, leaving its bony corpse to rot in the pits of the Shintaro dungeons. She gave the Munce one of the two blades of deliverance, the Shadow Blade of Deliverance, meant to serve as a symbol of hope for the Munce in terms of future attacks. Sadly, this gesture would be used against the Munce when King Vangelis, under the guise of the Skull Sorcerer, stole the Blades of Deliverance and tricked the Munce into believing that the Geckos had stolen it, causing division between the two groups and preventing them from uniting against him and his army of reawakened warriors who were being powered by the evil Skull of Hazadur. In the end, because of this division, the Munce were enslaved alongside the Geckos and forced to mine Vengestone, while some of the other Munce escaped and hid in their home caves. This slavery fueled the civilization of Shintaro, the Vengestone being sold to the Crystal King for purposes most evil. This would go on for some time until the ninja were invited for Princess Vania's birthday. The ninja of Earth, Cole, would be the first to encounter the Munce when he snuck down into the mines to investigate his suspicions after meeting a gecko who had a necklace owned by his mother for some unknown reason. Eventually, he would get captured by the reawakened warriors, and the other ninja would go looking for him afterwards and would get captured themselves as well. Eventually, the ninja, through a series of misadventures which involved Nia unintentionally becoming the Munce Queen when she was challenged to fight over Jay by the current Munce Queen, would lead a revolt against the Skull Sorcerer, leading to his defeat and removal from the throne. Vania, upon becoming queen, promised to treat the Munce and the Geckos as equals to the Skyfolk and would no longer abuse them. And we would later see the Munce and the Geckos partially integrate into their society a little bit. The Munce would later be seen participating in Nia's memorial/funeral during the ending of Seabound that was sadly kinda undone following the events of the first half of Crystallized. Now that we've finished their history, let us talk about the culture of the Munce people. The Munce, being far more simple-minded than Geckos, have a far simpler culture that is more akin to might makes right. They are led by a queen who earns their rank by victory in ritualistic combat. In addition, the Munce are guarded by a pair of guards who are referred to as Munce sentries, who determine who is and isn't allowed to enter the Munce's cave. Munces also have warriors that are a Another rank, though their role is kind of unexplained, that presumably involves fighting. Munce show great respect to their queen, carrying her throne around. The only location of significance is the Munce home cave, which contains a large dining hall, a giant fighting arena for ritualistic combat, and a wall bearing the story of Lily fighting Griefbringer. They have a wide variety of food that is considered gross by most outsiders, such as glop. In terms of notable members, there are several that are mentioned. Quite a few are named, though sadly not seen in the show proper. There's Mid, Mucka, Mood, Mud, and Monko. Of far more substance is Mert. There are two months with this name, the first of which is one of the Sentries, who is basically Mert the Senior, aka the father of the other Mert, who has the role of one of the guards, protecting his people from outsiders. The other Mert is his son, who appears in the sets and would be the one who escapes with Lloyd, Jay, and Nia and showed them to the Munce home cave. Then there is Mo, who lacks armor and is only ever seen in the sets and never has armor on. It's a real shame we didn't really see him. Then finally we have Mortessa, who is the current matriarch of the Munce, and became queen once again after Nia left Shintaro. In terms of biology, Munce are green-skinned humanoids with prominent tusks. In all honesty, they are clearly inspired by Orcs of Warcraft variety, though I would stress that technically orcs and goblins are the same thing, but everyone knows what we think of when we say orcs. We're thinking of the big guys, the guys who have green skin and tusks. Though honestly, it's kind of interesting how much orcs in Lord of the Rings are actually kind of distinctive from that. In terms of abilities, Munce are seemingly slightly physically stronger than the average person, or especially geckos. All Munce known are capable of a unique attack known as the rolling tactic. With this rolling attack, Munce roll themselves into a tight ball and roll into their enemies, knocking them off their feet and upsetting their balance. It's honestly a relatively effective technique, though it isn't particularly refined. In terms of specific weaknesses, Munce, due to their lower intelligence, can be easily tricked, and without clear authority, they quickly descend into fighting in and amongst themselves, if not other people, such as the geckos. Also, their rolling attack, while effective at catching people off guard, once you're ready for it, they can be relatively easily countered, especially with true spinjitzu. Overall, they have problems when dealing with a relatively intelligent enemy who knows what they're talking about. So, in the end, what can we learn from the months? Well, we learn that strength is brought through unity, and that petty squabbles can only divide and weaken us from outside enemies and influences. We also learn that you should sharpen your mind as well as your strength, because without one, the other can be significantly harmed. I'm the Sensei, the Dark Master, and I hope that you join me next time on the Lore of Ninjago. Have a wonderful day. Maybe implement the advice I gave at the end of these videos, and subscribe if you would like to hear more Ninjago lore videos. I definitely have quite a few more that I intend to do. Anyway, have a nice day.